So Miss Lauren Fields is a card reader, a card reader, astrology natal chart reading expert, and a spiritual advisor. She often goes by the nickname of Lauren Mercury, and she's a spiritual advisor who uses art and divination of tarot and astrology as her tools to help her clients in the field of self-knowledge and to learn the truth. Lauren uses a promising yet truthful approach. She assists her clients in helping them along their journey of gaining self-knowledge in the difficult area of their life, such as their life purpose, their talents, self-love, and their roles in their relationships and career. And she's also known as the Third Eye Doll, which is a great name. So welcome. And you have the floor for 20 minutes.
Thank you so much, Sheri. Excuse my earbuds today, guys. I want to make sure that you guys could hear me well. But yes, as Sheri explained, I am a tarot card reader and astrologer with Third Eye Doll. I go by 2 names. And basically what I want to talk to you guys about today is self-care using your natal chart, specifically with your moon sign and Venus sign. Now, I understand that we have a whole lot of people here. Some people who only know about sun sign astrology, some people who are intermediate astrologers, some advanced, some are chart readers. So I'm going to try my best to explain and talk in a way that reaches everyone. So I want to introduce firstly what self-care is. Everybody's heard of it. I don't really need to have a big introduction about self-care. The movement's been going on for a while and for a good reason. So basically, when we think of self-care, I think that it had a good intention at first, bringing us back to more from a selfless type of energy to more of nurturing ourselves so that we can be better for those around us, right? And but a lot of people took self-care and they kind of ran with it. It's focusing on our pleasures, partying, drinking a lot, indulgence, and those are all great things. But it's more leaning on to the Venusian or our Venus. And I'll talk a little bit more about what that means. But the Venus is basically our pleasure, what we gain pleasure in. So self-care is also about how we nurture ourselves, how we care for ourselves. And that you will find in your moon sign. Now, if you're asking me like, Lauren, what's my moon sign, my Venus sign? I'll be more than happy to guide you with that in later sessions. Or real quickly, if you wanted to look up in Google, calculate my moon sign, calculate my Venus sign, it brings you to an array of websites that can help you there as well. So, but keep in mind, we're talking about the moon and the Venus. So Venus is pleasure. So the moon sign, the moon is actually very cool because it not only reflects our self-care, but where did that come from? We all have a moon. When we actually go into nostalgia, we think about the past and those good memories. We're using our moon, our childhood memories, right? And psychologists say that when we emotionally react to something or react to the stimuli in our environment, we're actually reacting in a way that we were taught when we were small, right? Childhood development 101. And it's also how we perceive our main nurturer, which it could have been your mother figure, mainly the mother figure. Sometimes your father is the paternal figure, but it's mostly your mother or your grandmother, your aunt, or whoever was your main caregiver, right? And it's how they nurtured us and also how we perceived them as a nurturer. And in turn, it also tells us or describes or begins to describe how we nurture others, okay? So with that being said, when I say the moon, or I'm talking about different moon signs and what they mean, and how some of those moon signs and some of those Venus signs kind of have the lower and the higher vibrations of how they act. But when I'm talking about the moon and the Venus, I sometimes will use that interchangeably. I think I lost it. Yeah, I didn't lose you guys. I talk about that interchangeably because we can do self-care through our moon and our Venus sign. Most people actually have a different moon sign than a Venus. So let's say I could have a moon in Capricorn and a Venus in Pisces. And that would mean that you would need to pay attention to your Capricorn and then the Pisces way of self-care. Now me, I have moon and Venus in Taurus. So I'm kind of lucky to where how I care for myself and how I seek pleasure in life are the same. So here it goes. So basically, at the top of the list is Aries. I think that we kind of popularized in pop culture, Capricorn being the first. I love you guys, but in astrology, the Aries is actually the first sign. And basically, what that is anybody who knows an Aries knows how they may convey themselves. Aries is all about, the self. And the great part about it is if your moon is in Aries, you might have a more of a knowledge of self and more of a self-caring, self-directed energy. You might not engage in the selfless behavior that other signs may kind of get into. So since you're very concentrated on yourself, it's easy to nurture yourself in a sense. So with Moon and Aries, Moon is also how we emotionally react to things, right? How we react to different stimuli. So with Moon and Aries, they react with urgency. Everything is reacted to urgently, whether it be an emergency, whether it be getting up in the morning, they're always on the go, 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 go. So we can burn out, or Moon and Aries can burn out. But the great part about Moon and Aries is that there's so many ways of self-care. So the most prescribed, I should say, way of caring for Moon and Aries is with competitive sports. We all heard boxing for Aries individuals. Those who have a cursory knowledge about sun sign Aries is all about boxing, hitting something. And even psychologists for many years have prescribed everybody to box something out when they want to get rage and hostility out. But there's also other ways because Aries are, endurance junkies. So, we have COVID going on right now. There might be some places where they have like roller coaster rides. I think Disney is open right now. Skydiving, things of that nature. But for your everyday self-care, it can be something as simple as blasting the radio on or going to playing video games. It could be anything. It's not very legal, but speeding in your car. But it's all about, getting out a lot of that aggressive energy, or assertive, I should say. I shouldn't say aggressive, but a lot of that energy that wants to move around a lot. But also a very simple way of self-care for Aries is exercise, right? So especially sprinting or something that's very fast. So with your Venus sign, same way, you can develop a love for doing these things. And again, I use those Moon and Venus interchangeably for the purpose of this workshop because you can get self-care from both. But lean on your Moon sign a little bit more. Moon and Taurus. Moon and Taurus, basically, they're awesome. And I think I'm a little bit biased because I'm a Moon in Taurus. But Moon and Taurus, have you ever had no one? They typically don't react to a lot of things. When an emergency starts, they are the kind of person that kind of moves slowly. Hey, Sheri, Moon and Taurus, absolutely. So, we're very slow to react. And the kind of drawback is that we tend to stuff our feelings. And sometimes that's a literal stuffing. Yep, hesitant. Yep, Sheri said hesitant. They're hesitant to react to things. And that's because, I'll tell you why. Because Taurus is all about stability, whether it be financial stability or emotional stability. They're all about stability and maintaining stability. So when things happen, emergency, you might be mad at Moon and Taurus because they don't seem to look like they care. Oh, we care. We definitely care. But what we're doing is we're trying our best to practically help or practically care for ourselves without things falling from out the bottom, right? But again, it's all about stuffing our feelings sometimes. And sometimes what happens is that if we hold on to our feelings long enough, we kind of explode. But to prevent that from happening, we have to address what's actually going around us. And that's kind of hard for us to do. So, Moon and Taurus, we like to, or Venus and Taurus, sometimes we like to go shopping. And as much as Taurus likes to shop, we're also great savers as well. It's kind of like a really crazy thing to see, because we love to save money and spend. But when we do that, we definitely do quality things, quality fabrics, quality this, quality that. But we also love couponing. So another kind of area we self-care is with trying to find a great deal and trying to find a great price on something that we want, right? But also things like aromatherapy, lighting candles at night, the classic spa day in your home or spa day at the spa, but you can also recreate your spa at home, have a nice long bath, or just things like that, or soothing music, sound therapy. So that's a little bit about Moon and Taurus. So next up, we have Moon and Gemini. And Moon and Gemini, I love them too. They are all about communication. So when things happen, they're the first ones to know about it, right? They're the first one. Something happens, they are the messengers. So they love to talk, 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 talk. You'll find them in the office, and the things go down. They, they're talking about it. So they're always in the know. So for their self-care, sometimes they can be overly stimulated, but they love it. But at the same time, they can be overly stimulated by what's going on. The way to nurture themselves is that they're very quick to call their friend or their mothers, mainly because Moon is your mother as well, or a sibling. But they talk when they want to. They have a problem or they need self-care. They talk to somebody else, and sometimes the other person on the end of the line doesn't even have to say anything. They just listen to the Moon and Gemini, right? And or Moon and Gemini also loves to they're voracious readers. They love to learn. So they might find themselves with a good book or learning something new or watching the news or listening to or watching gossip columns, stuff like that. Moon and Gemini, they also love to play trivia. You might find them Venus is all about your Friday nights. It's all about the holiday, your weekends. Venus, you might find your Venus and Geminis out playing trivia games with their friends. So all my air signs, Gemini, Aquarius, and Libra, all love to go out too. So you're going to find them out and about. They love to be social. They love to be, interacting with people. So next up is Moon in Cancer and Venus in Cancer. And basically with Moon in Cancer and Venus in Cancer, it's all about your creature comforts, right? Your Moon in Cancer is all about nostalgia. They're all about caring for others. And because they care for others, this is where the area where they need to be more aware of caring for themselves. Because of course, think about your own mother. Most mothers, they kind of neglect themselves. And if anything, the self-care movement was started because moms needed to, and parents, not just moms, but anybody who cared for people needed to understand they needed to care for themselves. And Moon in Cancer really needs to do that. So they can be very simple where they want to stay inside. They love to stay inside after a long, hard day at work or caring for others. They love food as well. Moon in Taurus and Moon in Cancer, you're going to find them eating a lot of sugary things for self-care. You might find them underneath a blanket watching TV. They love Lifetime. Not all of us. I also say that, not all moon signs work the same. Not all Venus signs work the same. So, but I'm giving you a lot of lists of things that might pertain to you. But Moon in Cancer loves to nurture themselves by just staying at home in a quiet evening alone, relaxing typically with family. Wherever Moon in Cancer is, they're with family. If not, they try to be with family. They try to be connected with their family as well. Other than that, anything, since they're a water sign, definitely again the warm baths, the soothing environments, the sound of the ocean, well cooked food, stuff like that. All of that is gain. So that's Moon in Cancer and Venus in Cancer. So also, let's see. Next we have, I'm going off the top of my head, the order actually, is I believe you have Moon and Venus in Leo. And Leo is really cool because of the advent of technology, they have a lot more ways to nurture themselves. And I'll tell you why. A lot of Moon and Venus and Leos love to be in the spotlight. Not all of you guys, but you love to be in the spotlight typically. And what I like to see with Moon and Leo, as far as their self-care, is that they're very expressive. They love to creatively express themselves. You might find that sign, doing hobbies, music, performing, theater. Think about theater. Think about all the ways they can perform, right? Or recreational activities, having fun, going to parties. But because of the advent technology and social media, you're going to find them on Instagram. You're going to find them on, for those of you who have been on, what's that, TikTok or YouTube, they love to be in front of the spotlight, telling you about themselves, what they've created, stuff like that. They love their hair. Typically they love their hair. And a lot of ways that they can nurture themselves is actually what I mentioned, which is going on TikTok, posting a selfie on Instagram. Nothing's wrong with that. Displaying your talents, right? But it's also doing your hair or doing your makeup or doing things like that. On a Friday night, you might find Moon or Venus and Leo doing karaoke. But they're wherever the party is, right? They're where the party is, and you're going to find them being the host of a lot of parties. So gathering, stuff like that. We're COVID now, so partying on Zoom, right? So that's a little bit about Leo. Next up, we have Virgo. And where Virgo is, Moon and Virgo, what's great about them is that they like to have their area very organized, right? Because if they can manipulate, I shouldn't say the word manipulate, but what I mean by manipulate is if they can organize what's around them, then their internal lives are organized, right? If their house is in order, then they're in order. If their office is in order, then they're in order. So you might find them rearranging their furniture when they're stressed out, right? You might find them trying to solve a problem. Moon and Virgo, to care for themselves, they love to solve a problem. So, if your Moon and Virgo needs help with de-stressing themselves, ask them for advice, right? Or Moon and Virgo can be found doing crossword puzzles or an actual classic puzzle, something where they can solve things. But Virgos also they get anxious very easily. So even though they can spend a lot of time doing things, they can also need that equal amount of rest and turning their mind off as well. So you find a lot of Moon and Virgos where they are doing yoga. Yoga is very popular with Virgo, okay? Or meditation to kind of clear your mind space. And at night, I also recommend journal writing as well, just to have a mind dump of all the things that they're going through. And I also recommend, since Moon and Virgo has a lot to do with they always find themselves trying to improve themselves all the time. And so when they're improving themselves, they can be hard on themselves. So I actually recommend that they do a lot of affirmations, or when they find themselves being too critical of themselves, that they try to turn that off. And by turning that off, I mean focusing their mind elsewhere, TV or anything else, right? Anything that's going to shut that brain off of theirs. Venus and Virgo, same thing, and you're going to find them really loving to having the same thing the moon does, really, for a lot of times. So also, before I move on, you're also going to find Virgo actually at work a lot too. They like to chill out by diving into work, which can be stressful or not sometimes. So I don't know how much time that I have, Sheri, so definitely please guide me of the time. I might not get through all of these signs, but please, before that I end this workshop, make sure to find me in room 21. And if you give me your moon sign, I'll be more than happy to go over that with you as well. But let me move on very quickly to moon in Libra. So Moon and Libra, they love, they're all about others, right? This is also an area where this is also a sign that needs to practice a lot of self-care and self-love because they kind of see themselves in others, right? So a lot of times, I find my Moon and Libras, like Geminis, love to talk things out. And they love to use, not, I shouldn't say the word use, not use, but they love to use their friends, their family members, or their mates as a sounding board for their feelings because they might not always know what they're feeling. So they sometimes need a mirror or a reflection to figure out what it is that they're feeling. Does that make any sense at all? But when you Moon in Libra's in your life, or if you're Moon in Libra, it helps to kind of get together with someone that you love or trust to really get your feelings out there and see if they can it together. You can help it make sense. Moon in Libra, like Moon in Taurus or Venus in Libra, love to shop. They love to decorate themselves, I should say. I like to use the word decorate because they love to also, like Leo, do their hair. And if they're feeling good on the outside, then they're feeling good on the inside, typically. So this is 30 minutes. Awesome. So I'll end in 4 minutes. So, okay, sorry about that. But anyway, Moon in Libra loves to shop. They love to decorate things, decorate their space. So you might find them doing a lot of decorating their household or household home. But make sure that if you're Moon in Libra, that everything around you is in harmony, right? So that sometimes is doing whatever you can to have a space on your own, whether it be with your loved one or not, that is very calm and very inviting and very aesthetically pleasing as well. Moon in Scorpio. My Moon in Scorpio people, I love you guys. With Moon in Scorpio, they feel a lot of things and they feel a lot of things deeply. So with my Moon in Scorpio people and Venus in Scorpio, I'm kind of biased, so I really love the occult. And Scorpio is all about the occult. So if you're into that, that is a no-brainer for a Scorpio to get into. Get into a lot of the astrology and tarot and the divinations and into a lot of that stuff. I also see a lot of my Moon and Scorpios into criminal, those crime podcasts, those unsolved mysteries, watching a lot of those alien stuff, like a lot of things that are very taboo, or going to the depths and figuring out conspiracy theories, things of that nature. So with 3 minutes left, I know that I have like half the zodiac to get through, and I'm so sorry I didn't get to all of them. But again, if you find me in room 21, I'm more than happy to give you a tarot card reading and also to delve into more about what your moon sign actually means. So I think I'm going to end a little bit early, Sheri, because I know that I'm not going to finish. But I definitely would love to see everybody there. Come find me, Lauren Mercury, in room 21. And thank you so much for having me today.
Thank you, Lauren. Everybody, go see Lauren. You said, are you giving away any raffles, you said?
No, not this round, but not today.
Today, well, if you change your mind and you want to come out and raffle something off, let us know. What we're doing is they pick a number and they put it in the chat, and it's the closest number to it.
Okay, great. So I'll definitely implement that before the day's over.
Okay, great. Just pop out anytime and offer something, and we'll let you back in. So
excellent.
Everybody go see Lauren. She's awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.